Which video capture card should you buy and why? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. So good, that smokiness of the lap song, as always say. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a tech day. We're going to be talking about capture cards and my journey of buying countless capture cards. Literally countless. I've tried so many over the years, and some of them are just okay, some of them are just pure crap, and I want to go through some of them with you and give you, hopefully, information that will help you decide which is best for you. There are capture cards that are extremely low in price, and then there's capture cards that are thousands of dollars. Where do we sit here? What do you need for what you're trying to do? And I'm actually doing an upgrade today, and I'm going to show you that upgrade. We're moving into something that's a little bit more expensive. Once again, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I think it's time for the upgrade. And I want to bring you along with me on this journey. But before we get into this, I want to say that if you haven't subscribed to the channel as of yet, consider doing so. And if you do, or if you have already subscribed, click this little button over here, the notification button, and then click all. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. Also, if you enjoyed this content, even in the least, consider throwing it a thumbs up. That would be very helpful for the algorithm. If you know it or you don't know it, the algorithm is so important for a creator to be able to get his content or her content out there. So please consider throwing this video a thumbs up. That'll be very helpful. Also, if you're looking to secure your internet activity, your home or business, check out PureVPN. The nice folks over there gave me a link. That link will give you 80% off. So if you need 256-bit military encryption and maybe port forwarding and a static IP and all of this type of stuff, and you're looking to spend the cost of a latte per month, $2-3, PureVPN may be the ticket. Once again, down below in the description and the pinned comment. So let me start out by saying this entire journey started out with me doing YouTube and capturing myself. Now, at the beginning, we were doing more audio, we were doing podcasting, but we were also capturing ourselves through video because we would do shows. I was working with Digital Photography Cafe. We used to go live from different events, different shows like WPPI, PPE, which is Photo Plus Expo in NYC. So we would do a podcast, but we'd also capture the video, and it wasn't always easy to do so. And once we started doing more of the video internally, we needed a way of doing it. And instead of just recording on your camera, it's always nice to be able to bring in your footage directly into the computer so then you can edit right away and you're not moving the data back and forth. It gets to be a hassle. So I started using these capture cards. Now they look like this. You see, this is one right here. Here's one I have out of the package. There's another one over here. There's another one. I have, like I said, I can't even find it. There's just piles of these things. I've tried so many of these. And what I've found out is the majority of these capture sticks, let's call them, it's not even a card, these capture sticks that you find on Amazon, the majority of them are rebrands of the exact same, like OEM, gray market, whatever. All of them come from China. They look very, very similar. Some of them are identical, and they just throw different names on them. So I have a lot of those. I just basically returned because they were the same damn thing. But the ones that I show here, these are actually all different by, quote, different companies. Now, all of the ones that are like this, they were very similar in the latency. Now, all of these capture cards, as they call them, or capture devices, or I call them capture sticks, they are all very similar, whereas they do capture the HDMI feed coming in. The difference is latency and audio and how this latency works out. How does it sync? A lot of times these cards or these capture sticks would have a latency that was just simply too long. Sometimes 200 milliseconds, 300 milliseconds, sometimes in upwards of 600 milliseconds. So what does this mean? Well, if any of you guys have been around since like the 80s and 90s and you remember those Kung Fu movies, right? With Bruce Lee and all the rest of the Kung Fu greats, and the mouth would never move correct, right? Because it was all dubbed.
Are you Brigadier Chow of Shenwu Fort? Quite right. Now I think it's time you die.
Well, that's what you look like when you use these damn things, because a lot of times your voice is not synced because there is a latency. Now, these are the USB 3.0s now, or 3.1s, which are faster and it's a lower latency, but just the inherent nature of this unit itself produces latency, right? It just simply is. So I've tried a lot of these and they just don't work. Now, you can use them, all right, because they're very affordable. You can get these for literally like 10, 20, 30 bucks. Really, really cheap. And like I said, I've tried a ton. They're okay, but what you end up having to do is in post-production, take your audio and then kind of nudge it by X number of milliseconds so that your voice and your lips kind of match, which is a pain in the ass. I don't have time for that, right? We want something that just simply works. The other thing that I was having with a lot of these cards is over time, we would end up losing frames. Now, I don't know if that's just inherent to these things, that they all do this. Some of them did it worse than others. Now, out of all of them, now look at this. I don't even know what this name is. OPKAL. Anyways, I will put all of these into the pinned comment as well as the description, so if you want to go and check them out at different price ranges. And I'll give you like a rating on them also, so you know which ones I think to be better. I shouldn't say think, I know. I've tried all of them, right? So this is the best one, which is really quite good. The latency was pretty low. And what you see different here is, yes, you have your USB 3.0 on the back. On this side, you have two HDMIs, one in and one out. What's nice about this is, yes, you're capturing your feed, so you're going into the in, but then you can take a clean feed and then send it out to a monitor, let's say, which is awesome. Or maybe a second capture device or whatever you want. So having those two is really quite good. You also on the back have a headphone jack as well as a mic jack. So this is like a complete unit for, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks or something. Really, really quite good. It's a great value. Now, for a long time, let me see, where is it? Here we go. It's still connected, but let's pull this out. For a long time, I was using this. So this is the Elgato. This is the HD60S. Now there is a newer model of this. Let me see, maybe you guys can see that. Anyways, so this is the Elgato, and this thing is exceptionally good. Really, really good. But you can see you only have one of these HDMI outs, and you have one HDMI in, and then you have, of course, your feed back into your computer. Now, this is all great and everything, and it worked for probably about a year, year and a half. It's still working quite well. The problem is it's dropping frames. Now, I've tried all kinds of different things to try to fix it, and it's not the computer, it is actually this. I've tried it on different computers and all kinds of other stuff. So I know there's gonna be guys out there who be like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. No, I've been doing this for many years. So this is just simply dropping frames. And what it will do is, like, every maybe 30 seconds or 40 seconds, something right around there, you'll just see it like stutter step. So instead of capturing like 60 frames per second, it'll capture 45. Or instead of 30, it'll capture 20 or whatever. And you can see that stuttering, okay? And it's a problem. I don't want it, okay? At that point, I might as well just capture on the camera and call it a damn day. I don't want that. So I do love Elgato product. I think it is exceptional. So what I decided to do was pick up one of these. You guys see that? Maybe, is there a glare? Maybe something like this. It's look kind of glary. Anyways, so this is the Elgato Cam Link Pro. So what this will allow me to do is capture 4 feeds and up to 4K each feed. So this is very, very powerful. Matter of fact, I'm going to open this up right now because we're going to install it right this moment, because once again, the Elgato is a great product, this one right here, the HD60S, but I think it's just finally done. And instead of me buying another one of those, I figured I might as well just upgrade my game a little bit and buy something that will give me the ability to capture multiple cameras simultaneously instead of having to use multiple units. So this is what it looks like, just so you get an idea. This is all that it is. It is a card that goes into the computer, and out the back of your computer, it looks like this. Can we see that? Maybe. Let me cover my face. Maybe not. Anyways, So this is what it looks like. That's the back side of it. And that is it. So we're going to install this and give it a test run and see how it works out. All right, guys, this is it. I know. Does it even fit in the frame? It does. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to punch this thing open and install this card. What's nice about this computer is it pops open really easy. It's like on magnets, and then you can actually take the whole thing and just slide it up, and there you go. Sometimes it's good to buy, I guess, higher quality cases than the low quality cases, because it just makes stuff a lot less miserable if you're trying to do any type of upgrading. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these slots, one of these available slots, and stick that card into it. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Hopefully, maybe. Let me go and flip this down. So anyways, we're going to put this card right into here. So let me show you, let me see if I can flip this up, and maybe you can see inside of there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew one of these, then we'll just pop this thing out just like that. And now we're going to stick this in here. Let me go ahead and lay it down flat. And that's it. That's simple. We take the screw, put the screw back in, and we tighten it up, and that is all she wrote. So there it is. What is that? A total of 2 minutes to stick in? Not bad at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to plug everything back in, and I'm going to start recording myself on the other camera using this Elgato. And just to see if there's any latency and to see how the voice carries. Is it going to be in sync or is it going to be out of sync? And if it is in sync, is there any latency or is it extremely low latency that you don't need to do anything with the voice? So we're going to take a look at this and we'll be right back. Let's go and get to it. Now, as you saw, the computer was assembled and now we have it back on. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start recording instead of with this camera, which is the ZV-1, I'm going to start recording with the Canon EOS R right here, this camera right there. So then what we're going to do is we're going to sync the audio from this camera, all right, to the computer, but through the HDMI on the back of that Elgato. So hopefully, if this works as I think it should, what will happen is my audio will be in sync without me having to move it 300 milliseconds that way, 200 milliseconds that way, whatever, on the timeline. So we're going to give it a shot and see what the latency is. Hopefully, there's next to no latency. That is what we're looking for, no latency. Anyways, let's jump right into the computer. So this is OBS, and as you can see, we right now only have the desktop. Now what we need to do is add in the camera. I'm going to change this source, the Sony Elgato source, and right now it's set up as USB 3.0 capture. Now that is the capture card or that capture stick that I was using before. We need to change that to this brand new Elgato Cam Link Pro. Now, there is 4 inputs, so we're going to have to designate which input we want it to capture through. As we can see, there is a lot of input devices currently available. Now, the one that we want is this one right here, the Cam Link Pro HDMI 1. So let's click on that, and there it is. Just like that, we pull right up. So what I'm going to do is instead of using the NVIDIA GeForce is what we're using right now to capture our screen, I'm going to hit stop on this and then change over to OBS. So now I'm recording the screen using OBS Studio 29.0.2. That is the latest and greatest as of the making of this video. Now what we need to do is change that latency. Now we can see that my voice is coming through RE20 mic right here. If we click on these three little dots and go down to Advanced Audio Properties, this comes up here and we need to change something. Right here it says RE20 mic, and on sync offset you can see 300 milliseconds. The reason that was set for 300 milliseconds is because that capture card was 300 milliseconds off. So I'm going to change this to 0. So now there is no offset at all between my audio and the capture. I'm going to switch over now to me. Now this is being captured through the Canon EOS R and being piped through the HDMI cable right into that Elgato Cam Link Pro. I'm going to look at this video and see if it is in sync. Are my lips moving to the audio, to my voice, or is it off and I still need to move things over left or right, positive or negative when it comes to milliseconds? Once again, the other card that I was using, which was the best that I was able to find out of all of those cards or sticks or whatever you want to call it, the best was 300 milliseconds, period. That's all that I can get. That was the lowest latency I was able to find. Now, the old Elgato, the HD 60S, had very, very low latency. I did not have to do anything with this. But like I said before, I was having problems where it was stutter stepping and it was kind of glitching and it was dropping frames every 30, 40 seconds or something. So my hope is this Cam Link Pro is going to be able to capture me through HDMI 1, but with absolutely zero latency, where we can have this set to 0 milliseconds and it looks and sounds good, and I do not look like an Oriental Kung Fu movie from the 70s and 80s. Anyways, let's go give it a look-see. So there you have it. I think it's pretty good. I looked at the footage over and over and over. I did notice a few frames here and there missing, even with the brand new Elgato Cam Link Pro that we just installed. But I'm just probably hypersensitive to it. I've been doing this stuff forever, and that's just kind of how I am. I'm just anal retentive, okay? I don't miss very much. So I don't know. I think it's pretty good. Now, out of all the capture devices that we've used so far, by far, the Elgato Cam Link Pro is the best. Being that it has 4 HDMI inputs, I'm definitely going to keep that instead of using the Elgato HD 60S because that only has 1. Now that also does produce a lot more stutter stepping or lost frames in comparison to this one. This one is very, very minimal and the voice is synced. I don't have to do much of anything. I mean, if you want to move something over like maybe 50 milliseconds, not 300, I mean, you could to probably get it absolutely perfect, especially if you're going to do a live stream. In my personal opinion, if you are doing lives and you're doing a feed that is coming from 2 sources, right? So you have a camera and you have an audio source and you're putting them together. And instead of feeding your audio directly into the camera, that's always ideal to get perfect sync, but it is not ideal to get perfect audio because the camera, the internal pickup, the audio processor is just usually horrible. Okay, that's just simply it. So even if you give it extremely good audio, like right now we have audio coming out of an RE20, which is an electro voice. It's a radio mic that's been used for 50 years plus. So it is really good quality audio that's being pumped through a 286 compressor and then into, anyways, it is $1,000 setup. So the audio should be pretty good. But now if I take this audio and pump it directly into the camera, well, it kind of defeats the purpose. So we're going to use this audio directly into the computer. So to recap, there is a lot of these capture sticks out there, and many of them on Amazon are the exact same unit, just simply rebranded. So buyer beware. So as you bring these in, understand you're probably going to be returning the majority of them because of this. But there's a couple of good ones. And down below, I'm going to put links to the ones I found to be good at different price ranges. So if you need to capture yourself directly from the camera into your computer, I'm going to give you a bunch of different options. And once again, different price ranges for it. I personally think that this is the best that I've used so far. Now, is there higher end units that we use in production? Yes. But for someone that just has a small YouTube channel, this is more than sufficient. I think the Elgato Cam Link Pro is awesome for what it is. So for the price, I'm going to put, once again, I'm going to stick that down there. I'll put a link for that also, as well as the Elgato HD 60S and the newer model of that. I think they are fantastic. And like I said, I used that for about 2 years with no problems. And now we're starting to get a little bit of that stuttering. But that's still not bad considering how long or how much value we got out of it, right? So I hope you enjoyed this, maybe found it entertaining, educational, maybe some kind of edutainment. I don't know. If you did like it and you want more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. And then click this little button over here and then click all. So when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you just want to say thank you for my hard work, there's a little thank you button that YouTube provided down there, here, there. Thank you, YouTube. I appreciate it. Click it. Don't click it. Even better, become a member of the channel. That would be awesome. We would absolutely love to have you. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years, and hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for another vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.